Hi, Mercedes here. I wanted to talk to you today about um, finding your niche and like working out what your ideal client is. Because do you know what? This is one of the things that I am most surprised about that people in business, they don't have it sorted. Um, like you just think, oh, I can work with everybody. Oh, I'll work with everyone. Oh my goodness, no, you can't. It feels like you can, right? And the truth is, because you see maybe big celebrities and they're working with everybody, and that's what they're doing. And it works really well for them because they've got huge following, they've got a reputation, and people will come to them because they know them. And if people don't know you, right? You can't just go out with a general messaging because what they're going to think is, why would I work with this person? Because they're not speaking to me. You need to start to speak to the person that you want to work with. And it really will make a difference if you can speak their language. And that means niching down. So I'll tell you an example. I was chatting to a guy recently and he was wanting to go into the health and fitness realm and he was setting up a group. And he was asking in a group of loads of random people what they would want to find in a group for health and fitness. And I was like, well, who are you targeting for your group for health and fitness? And he was like, everybody. And I was like, I didn't seem to grasp the concept that me as a woman in my mid 40s going through perimenopause I have a certain idea of what health and fitness means to me. It's very, very different to say a man who is 20 or even a woman who is 70. We're going to have a totally different idea of it. Health and fitness means so many different things to so many different people. And if you just are creating a group for health and fitness for everybody, chances are you're going to miss the mark with everybody. So niching down is really, really important. And when you understand that you niche down, you can find more clients. And it's really important to say that when you start, you niche down, right? Find your niche and work with them. Exhaust that niche if you have to. And trust me, your niche is going to have so many people in it. It's going to take you a long time to exhaust it. If you then want to expand out, start working with other niches over time, it's much easier to do because you've got the experience, you know how to adapt your messaging for this new niche and to have two different sets of messaging ongoing at the same time. But when you don't have a client base, you want to start by having some kind of level of messaging out there that will help you to connect with the people that you really want to work with. And then it becomes, well, who do I want to work with and why do I want to work with them? And that comes down to you understanding you. So working on your core values. So what is it that you want to bring to your business? What is it you want to bring to the people you're going to work with? What is it that makes you tick? And what do you want your business to say about you? And that's where you're going to start. What are your strengths? What are your passions? What do you know that you can do really well? Who do you know you can help? And why do you think you can help them? So I always say to people, sit down and brainstorm. Where are your strengths? What skills do you have? What are your passions? What do you really, really love doing? What can you bring to the world that comes from you? Because often we pick a business niche or we pick an area to work in and we think that's where we're supposed to be working because that's the thing that people say makes more money and this is the thing that people say is more successful. But actually the people who make money in business are the people who are doing the things that excite them, that light them up, that they really, really want to do, and that will inspire them because they can bring that enthusiasm, they can bring that joy through, and they've got the knowledge and the understanding and the pleasure, and they can share what they've done and they can share where they've been, and that will shine through in everything that they do. So getting clear on that. So you start to have an idea of what it is that you actually really want to do, where you want to work, who you want to target, why you want to target them. And then you want to get an idea of what your ideal client is, what they're expecting from you, and what's out there in the market. And it's about going out and doing some market research, looking at competitors, looking at what people expect. And you can do a little bit of this by using AI and ChatGPT and asking it some questions about your niche and what you want to do and what people are expecting. And you can ask it to come up with some competitors for you. And then I would say if you once it's given you some potential competitors that are in your world that you want to be working in, to go and then start researching them. So look at their websites, look at their social media. And when you start maybe following them on social media, look at other people that social media will recommend that are similar. Because then you can start to research and find people that are doing kind of what you want to do. Because when we start business, we don't want to be copying somebody, but we also don't want to reinvent the wheel. Okay. Because if it's going really well and people are having success with one area of what that niche, then you can think, well, okay, you can look at that and say, well, okay, well, I know that works, but this is how I would do it differently. This is what I would do. This is what I would bring to the table. So you don't have to start from scratch, coming up with a whole new idea that nobody's ever done before. Sometimes that actually is a big disaster because it's not been done before for a reason. Sometimes it's magic, but often it's not been done for a reason. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Look at what your competitors are doing and do a bit of an analysis and think, well, okay, these are the top competitors and they're all doing this, this, and this, but there's a little gap in what they're doing that they're not doing that I could offer that as my main offering, and I can actually clean up because I'm doing something that they're not. And so this is about you understanding where the gaps are and where you can fit in and what you can offer to your ideal client. And then once you have that, get an idea of who your ideal client actually is. So start to build out an avatar. Who are they? What gender are they? What age are they? What do they do for a living? What's their family situation like? What do they like to do in their spare time? How do they talk to their friends? All of these kind of things to get an idea of the person you're working with. And another great reason for doing this is that when you're then creating your marketing material, you're creating an email, you can actually write it like you're talking to that person. So you imagine that person is sitting in front of you and you're talking. Even now, while I'm doing this, I have clients now and I have people I work with. And I'm imagining as I'm doing this that I am talking to those people that are in my world, that learn from me, that do stuff with me. And I'm talking to them right now and explaining to them why they need their niche, why they need to niche down, why they can't be really broad, and why they need to think about it a bit more and decide, who do they want to start working with? And it is starting. And also, once you have your ideal client avatar and you have your niche, you'll be surprised you create it. And then you get people from outside of your niche that want to work with you. So I predominantly work with women, but I don't say I'm never working with men. And I don't actually put in my marketing material that I work only with women, but I pitch my marketing to women and I make it sound like I'm speaking to women. That doesn't mean that men don't contact me and want to work with me, because they're on a wavelength with me. They're doing a spiritual business, they're doing a wellness business, and I'm able to speak to them in a level that maybe some of the other coaches can't, because I'm able to offer that more feminine touch to the spiritual element of their business. And so that comes through from me. But I'm not going out and pitching to men, but that doesn't mean men won't want to work with me. And it's the same if you're doing any business. Just because you've got one niche doesn't mean that people from outside your niche won't want to work with you. And then you can decide when they contact you if they are a good fit for you, as you should with all your clients, because sometimes you're not, and it all comes down to it. That's a whole nother story. But your niche doesn't tie you in, so you're never ever going to be able to work from anybody other than that niche. It's just a place to start. It's a place to focus, and it's a place to get clients from, to get that experience, to build that business, to start making money, to know what you're doing. And then you've got somewhere you can grow from. But trying to do it all at once when you first start is going to be a recipe for disaster. So once you've sort of got your ideal client and you've got your niche and you kind of put it all together, it's always quite good to kind of go around to the market and start talking to people, talk to people and talk to people that are in your niche, people that you think would be interested in your services. And even if they are friends, family members, just people right? They don't have to potentially be clients. They could be clients, but you're not pitching them to be your clients. You ask them, would this interest you? If I was to do this together, what do you think? If you saw an offer like this, what would you think of this? And what would you think of that? And just get a bit of research and start to figure out what people like and what they don't like. And are they connecting up with what you're saying, or is there a mismatch? Have you dropped something along the way and people are like, not really, and then it's not connecting? So it will give you an ability to refine and to fine tune what you're doing, so you really kind of nail that connection. And then that helps you to kind of nail your message, because once you know your niche, you know your ideal client, you know who you're speaking to, you know what makes them tick. So you start to understand what language they use, the way they describe their problem, the way they feel about things, what's happening for them emotionally, what they want to achieve emotionally, where they want to be. And then you can start crafting all of that into your messaging, into the way you talk, into your offers, to make sure you're giving them what it is that they want. And that's much easier to do when you have a very clearly defined niche and ideal client, because you can really nail what it is that they want and give them what they want. So just as a little bonus tip on this, is just to stay flexible on your niche. Even if you refine it and you get it right today, you might find you go out and you start working with people and you think, do you know what? Actually, this is I was slightly off with the people that I'm targeting, and actually I'm being more drawn and I'm attracting more people from just slightly outside this niche. And maybe there's a bit of refinement that needs to be done and it needs to be tweaked. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We learn by implementation. Okay, so there's all this idea of, okay, I'm going to create my niche, my ideal client, and that's brilliant. We do that theory, we do it quickly. We come up with something quickly, because then we can go out and we can test it. We can start working. We can see who we work with, and we can refine from our experience. And that's where we get the most benefit, going out, trying, doing things. I'm doing these videos for you, and I'm seeing how they go. I'm seeing what works, seeing what people like, seeing what feedback I get, and I'm going to adjust as I do them. And that's kind of the best way to be creating any content, to be doing anything in business. So you go out, you try it, you do a bit, see what happens, and you refine and you adapt from market feedback. So this is just the start. You get started with your niche. You get started with your ideal client. This is an idea of where I think I want to go, and you start working towards it and you refine it as you go. That will see you have huge growth much more quickly than sitting there trying to either target everybody or spend weeks trying to nail the niche and the ideal client without actually doing anything practical. So hopefully this has been useful for you. Remembering to just go through, find your niche, refine it, do your market research, find your gap in the market, get your ideal client sorted, test it with friends, family, potential clients, and just stay flexible. Go out there and start doing stuff. Hopefully you've liked this video. If you do, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit a like for me. Let me know if I'm doing anything of any quality. Add a comment. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your niche is. Let me know if you need any help to define your niche. And if you would like to discuss your niche, you'd like to nail it down a little bit and get some advice, check the links in my bio and come and join my school group, the Empowered Entrepreneurs, where we can talk, we can interact, and I can give you some support and some help. And I'll see you soon.